Guys, welcome back. This is Nathan Barna here. If you don't know, now you know. We're just cruising today. There's a lot of things that I will likely and already have repeated over and over again. And sometimes to myself, I can kind of feel like I'm repeating myself like a broken record. But I'm realizing more and more, especially as I continue to study and to learn. Repetition is the mother of skill, as they say. And so hearing the same shit over and over again is sometimes exactly what is needed. And when I look at even my own life and the way that I study things, the way that I structure my day, it is structured in a way to where there's key things that I purposely do over and over again. Just like you don't just brush your teeth once and then you're good for the rest of your life. You don't just go to the gym once and then you're good for the rest of your life. It's these habits, these behaviors that you continue to repeat over and over and over again that, day to day may not seem like a lot is happening, but you stack it up over weeks, you stack it up over months, you stack it up over years, and you stack it up over an entire lifetime. And this wild, huge transformation takes place. And so that is something I really highly recommend and invite you to do, is to find these key things in your life. And like, I'll just be practical here, just to show and to share what I do. And, maybe you can find something there. But me, I wake up, I take a cold shower. That has been one of my staples. It's just kind of that thing that, yes, you can talk about the physiological benefits and the science of the cold exposure and the C-reactive proteins, the stress response, and the brown fat, adipose tissue, like all of these different things. It's cool and that's all great. But for me, cold shower is like, it's the thing that when I first wake up and you're all cozy and shit from sleeping, you're kind of you're still waking up, and it's like that first thing that I do that's like, all right, we're initiating the day. We're going to do something that might be a little uncomfortable. And at first, it was like a daily like, ugh, fuck, I gotta get in this cold ass shower. But now it's like, one, I don't even really think about it, and two, it's something that I crave. Because it does, it is that initial like, like here we go. And so I do that, and then, I'll like brush my teeth and I'll do that kind of stuff, brush my hair, all those types of fun things. And then I do Tai Chi or some form of meditation. Lately, it's been Tai Chi, where I've been going outside, and even all winter, I was called this year, usually in the winter time, when there's snow on the ground, when it gets real cold, I will transition to going inside and doing like a seated meditation. But this past year, I was called to just continue my outside practice. So I haven't missed a day. Every single night or morning, going outside and doing my Tai Chi. And that is that's one of those practices. It's like a consistent thing every single day. And, sometimes, and this is a key point that I want to bring up here. Sometimes, when other things are going on, or maybe I'm traveling, or I slept in later and I got a busier day, whatever the thing might be. Sometimes it's like, it's easy to be like, you know what? I'm just, I've been doing this for a while. I'm not going to do it today. And I want to say up front that I used to believe that it's like, no, like, I don't care how you fucking feel, you better get that shit done, because that's what you said that you're going to do. And I think different phases of your life, that is necessary to kind of have more of that rigid structure. Because again, if you're going from, this is all a balance here, if you're going from a place of not really having any kind of self-discipline, and because you're not having that self-discipline, it's actually holding you back from doing and being and having the things that you want in your life, then maybe implementing that kind of structure to where like, this has got to happen. And that's why one of the the best things that I can invite you to do that will have the most wide-reaching impact to every single aspect of your life is to do what's called a gong, Gong. And essentially all that is, and I learned this from Paul Chek, but he learned it from other places as well. But all it is it's 100 days, 100 consecutive days of consistent practice. And if you miss a day, you have to start back at day one again. And so I have found in my experience, and studying Paul Chek, he backs this and affirms this as well. But there's a huge correlation between people being able to complete a gong and their ability to be consistent in all their other areas of their life, whether that's their nutrition, whether that's going to the gym, whether that's, different commitments they have with their relationships or their job or whatever that might be. And therefore, and this is kind of like another side point, if you can find something that is that high leverage, like I see Tai Chi as a super high leverage activity because it has such a wide reaching impact on all these other areas of life. If you can find something, I don't know, for some reason I felt like both hands needed to be involved here. If you can find something that has that kind of high leverage impact, that is simple, that you can commit to doing non-negotiably, meaning like there's no excuse, you can make it happen, and you can make that commitment, then it will, literally, it will transform your life. Because in the same way, like making your bed, where it's something that maybe doesn't seem that important, like, logically, you woke up and at the end of the day, you're going to get right back in it. And, so all the sheets, they're going to get all messed up again. So it's like, what's the point of making the bed? But that practice, and this, like, if you have challenges with self-discipline in your life, that simple practice of making your bed, or that simple practice of doing Tai Chi, like I said, I would consider Tai Chi as even a higher leverage action item than making the bed, although both would suffice. That simple action, you're proving to yourself through that daily commitment that you can commit to things. Because a lot of times the challenges that we have, we're talking about self-discipline here, but really, no matter what it is, the challenges that we have are so often, they're not actually related to the thing in itself. So if you have a hard time sticking to a gym routine, it's not necessarily like, oh, the trainer or the program or the gym or the drive or, any number of excuses or reasons that you come up with to justify you not being consistent with your actions, with your commitment of going to the gym. It comes down to actually more of a character trait, of a virtue of who you are being. And that is why so often, so many people in the personal development space will tell you that if you want to do something, if you want to achieve something, instead of focusing on what you need to do, focus on who you need to become. And I promise, I like to go in big circles. We're going to go in a big circle here. Focus on who you need to become. So if that is, you want to get stronger, you want to be healthier, you want to be an athlete, you have whatever kind of, you want to make more money, you want to build a business, whatever that might be, you have this big objective, and you find that there's key things that aren't happening within that, and you find that you can kind of pinpoint them to related virtues or ways of being, whether that's patience, whether that's self-discipline, whether that's just consistency, persistency, or whatever that might be, whether that's just love and compassion. You can then break it down into, okay, what is the simplest yet the highest leverage action item that I can commit to non-negotiably that is going to help me develop that virtue, develop that character trait that will translate into actually doing the things that I know that need to be done to achieve what I want to achieve, to realize what I want to realize in my life. And so coming back to the Tai Chi, that is an act in itself that is very simple, that you can commit yourself to non-negotiably, meaning every single motherfucking day, every single day, not every other day, not 5 times a week, every single motherfucking day, every day, that will have this impact on all these other areas, because it will help you strengthen that part of who you are. All right. So that's what I do. So I do my Tai Chi, I go inside, and then I have a little like study practice. So I work with the tarot cards. And by the way, if you ever want to be a part of a kind of weekly tarot reading, every Friday, for the most part, unless, I'm traveling or whatever, but almost every Friday, I go on Instagram Live on the Optimal Evolution page, and it's called the Optimal Evolution Weekly Check-In. But essentially, I just kind of check in, just kind of feel into what's going on, like all the experiences that I've had, coaching and working with different athletes, and really just bringing up what's there. And the tarot cards kind of help to bring that to the surface, so that we can explore that and dive a little deeper. And so I do a little tarot reading for my day, or really just kind of where things are at. And then I have a couple books that I am studying. And currently I am studying the Gene Keys by Richard Rudd. And I'm studying A Course in Miracles, Helen Schumann, something of that nature. I forget the author. But yeah, Gene Keys and A Course in Miracles. And what I do is I'll like literally read a passage from it. And like most of the things that I study, it's like I want to kind of absorb this knowledge so that I can implement it, so that it can like be quickly implemented and infused to what I'm doing, whether that's in business or, finances or whatever the case might be. But with these texts specifically, I don't want to be done with them. I don't want to, have this where it's like just another book that I read and it's checked off my list. It's something that the messages that come through those texts are things that I want to continue to embody every single day. And so I have it set up and I have it structured so that by studying those things, it is this consistent reminder every single day. Because like so much of this comes down to really just reminding myself, and for your sake, reminding yourself of who you want to be, what you want to see in your life, and then how you want to go about making that a reality. And so I purposely chose this sequence of events because, one, it's very simple. It doesn't take a lot of time. I like to take my time, but if I have to, it really doesn't take a lot of time. And it's like it sets everything up so that once I initiate my day, I'm already coming from this place of being. I've already built this foundation to build upon it, to move from. Because as you go about your day, you're interacting with different people, you find yourself in different circumstances, and you're just kind of interacting with even just the collective energy of the world. Especially like if you're on social media, and like there's so many different ways that all this information, all this energy, all these vibrations are being are interacting with you, and you're interacting with them. And so if you don't have these things in place to remind yourself, then it can be difficult to slowly find your way back into old patterns, to habits that you've been working to get to kind of transcend and grow beyond, whatever language you want to put in there. So the things that you are desiring you as well. And so if you can just set up the physical structure to continue to remind yourself of how you want to proceed through your day, who you want to be, how you want to show up, then over time, that consistent, repeated effort, that consistent, repeated action will continue to build upon itself. And you'll find yourself, again, day to day, it doesn't seem like much is happening, but over time, you'll find yourself in a completely different space. And it wasn't like this big decision that you made this one day. Again, just like going to the gym. Maybe there's you look at yourself in the mirror, you step on the scale, you go to the doctor's office and get some news you don't want to hear. Whatever the initiation factor might be, that might lead to a big decision. Where it's like, oh shit, I got to get myself together here. I got to start going to the gym. I got to hire a nutritionist. I got to get my diet on point. Whatever that might be, there might be this big decision. But the big decision doesn't actually do anything. It initiates it. And to contradict that, on the other side of that, the big decision does do everything, because that big decision is that initiation. Because in reality, that ultimate version of yourself is already here. You just have to align yourself to it. And that's really what this is all hinting at. It's like, again, that's why remembering. It's already here. It's already been there the whole time, because that's all there is. It's just realigning yourself to that. And that's where like having these practices are what help to continue that realignment process, to where it just becomes a way of being. It just becomes who you are. Your highest potential just becomes who you are as a natural expression of your surrender to the alignment of what is present right here in this moment. And that's all it is. It's not complicated. But again, on the other side of that, having those consistent practices in place are what help you to continue to remember the decision that you made long enough for it to become who you are in this moment, right here and right now. And that's my teaching for the day. And I don't even call it a teaching. It's just the sharing, because the more I get into this shit, the more I realize, like, I don't have anything to fucking teach you, bro. Like, I'm just sharing. This is who I am. I've set these things up in my life to share in this way. And yes, it is my sincerest desire and hope, and just knowing that you will find some value in this and some practicality in this to be able to implement in your own life. And my invitation for you is to, imitate and then innovate. So take what I just shared and do that. Start with that. Take your cold shower, go outside, do your Tai Chi, 20 minutes. Like when you're starting out, you want more structure, because if you're coming from a place of no structure, you need structure. And you need to develop that discipline muscle. But after a while, the structure becomes inhibitory. The structure can take away from your continued development. So at a certain point, you have to let go of the structure. But when you're starting out, you need the structure to hold everything in place long enough to then be able to drop it. Funny how all this shit works. So take your cold shower, do your Tai Chi, go get your deck of tarot cards. I use Voyager Tarot by James Wanless, PhD. Piled higher and deeper, as he would like to joke. So, and then just pick a card a day. Again, it doesn't have to be this complicated shit. The simpler that you make it, the more likely you are to stay consistent with it. And the consistency, my friends, the consistency is the key. So whatever you got to do to be consistent with it, and this is like kind of a final point that I wanted to make earlier, is whatever that thing is. So like maybe you can't commit to 20 minutes at first, but you can commit to 30 seconds. Like, I know that for a fucking fact. You can commit to 30 seconds. You can commit to 3 minutes. And I know for a fact you can commit to 20 minutes, but maybe it doesn't seem like that at first. But either way, you need to find what you can commit to. And again, that's why the simplicity is key. So wherever you feel comfortable that you can start and make it so that it is non-negotiable. And that's where the simplicity is key. Because if you commit yourself to like this 3-hour morning routine that so often happens, or you commit yourself to this like vigorous gym routine when you've never even set foot in the gym before, or this revamping of your diet when all you've got in your cupboard is, you know, fucking Cheetos and Ho-Hos, then it's going to be too much too soon. And again, you can do it. It's possible. But more than likely, you'll end up falling off, and you'll find a reason to find yourself back in the same place, looking up, wondering why the fuck you're still in the same place and you haven't changed. Over and over and over and over and over again. It happens to cycles and cycles and cycles. Cycles circle till you leave them, motherfuckers. So make it simple. Be consistent. Okay? I have the Voyager Tarot. Just pick a card and just read about the card. Just look at the card. You don't have to read about it if you don't want to. Just look at it. Okay? What does it bring up in you? Look at the pictures. They're cool, nice little colorful pictures. Look at them. And then over time, again, consistency, things will continue to develop. Again, it may not seem like a lot is happening day after day, but things will develop. Allow them to develop. Okay? After you do the tarot reading, before the Gene Keys book, because that is a little bit of a deeper text, before the Gene Keys book, read, I have it right over here, How to Heal Your Life. Louis Hayes, How to Heal Your Life. And there's affirmations in there. And what I did, I just took all of her like big affirmations. You'll know what I talk about if you read the book. I just took all her affirmations and I literally typed them out just to have them consecutively on a piece of paper. So I have a little booklet of affirmations. And then I did it for about a year before I switched to the Gene Keys, but I just read those affirmations every single day. So tarot, affirmations. And honestly, that's where I would start. Like if you have a book that you know that is like something that you really want to embody, and maybe that is How to Heal Your Life. I would also say that like if you're just starting out, Course in Miracles is definitely, it's a deeper text. But by all means, if you feel called to it, go for it. But I would start there, and that's it. And then go about your day. You don't have to change, like literally, you don't have to change anything else. You just install that right there and start consistently. Every single motherfucking day. And then build on it. Allow it to build, because naturally things are going to progress. Naturally, maybe you want to dive into some deeper shit and there's options available. And if you would need to have any questions or like if you want additional support on this stuff and how to actually implement it, like reach out to me and like do it now, because you know, I know that this shit's going to keep developing and there's going to be more and more inquiries and more things. It's already happening. So, you know, I'm making these offers now to just reach out to me. You know, go on Instagram or something. You can find me. But over time, I may not be as available. So take with which you will. All right, y'all. That's, we're going to cap it off there. Hope this was helpful. And lastly, don't forget, you know, the journey is the way. I'll talk to y'all soon. I love you. Have an amazing day. Peace.